Hi, my name is Christine Soza, and I'm the founder of True North Awakening.
Christine, thank you so much for joining me today. Can you share a little bit with us about your business and the focus of your work?
Sure. So I am a certified end-of-life doula and a Reiki practitioner, and my primary focus is supporting people with medical needs and primarily at the end of life. So an end-of-life doula is a person who supports and guides the dying person and their loved one during this inevitable journey that we will all take. And having that extra layer of support can truly provide for a softer landing for the dying person, and offering guidance and support to their loved ones helps so much because they know they will have that ongoing support after their loved one passes away. And Reiki is a Japanese complementary, a Japanese healing technique that is a complementary therapy that promotes stress reduction and deep relaxation. We are all in a constant state of stress, and having to navigate the healthcare system and treatment can add an extra layer of stress, especially at the end of life. So Reiki activates the parasympathetic nervous system and helps to calm that nervous system so healing can occur. So when our bodies are in a constant state of stress, that sympathetic nervous system is activated, and physiologically our heart rate goes up, our blood pressure goes up, our respirations go up, and the blood vessels in our bodies become constricted. And so, what Reiki does is it activates that parasympathetic nervous system so that we can be in a more peaceful state. And what happens is our body begins to relax, our blood pressure begins to lower, our heart rate lowers, our respiration becomes slower, and those blood vessels become more open. And so that really creates a perfect environment for healing to happen. Reiki doesn't have the trademark for providing relief to activation for the parasympathetic nervous system. Other things can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, such as massage and acupuncture, taking a walk out in nature, also holding a puppy or a baby. Though all those things can activate the parasympathetic nervous system, but Reiki actually is just a gentle and supportive therapy that can really help to also soften the edges. So, what I love about Reiki is that it can help empower a person during their medical journey. So, we often feel super powerless in our medical journey. And not that I am being critical of the medical system, but oftentimes we become a medical record number and just a patient in our diagnosis. And so, what Reiki does is it helps to remind us that we can actually participate in our own healing process. And I think that's pretty powerful and such a great reminder.
Thank you so much for that explanation. What do you enjoy most about the work that you get to do?
I just love to support people on their own personal healing journey. I believe that healing is possible even up until we take our last breath. And I just feel so inspired by those who have never received Reiki before. I have clients in their 80s and 90s. I actually even had a couple of 100-year-old clients never experienced Reiki before, but they often will say, "When can you come back? I have never felt this relaxed before." So I love Reiki also because it helps to support people holistically, and it really helps to support the entire person. And I love being able to honor and support people on their healing journey, remembering that we are more than just our physical body. We are supporting people, their body, mind, and spirit. And that's what drives me each day to support those people. I'm inspired by their bravery and the stories of resilience and strength, especially of the suffering that they have endured. That drives me every single day to continue this work.
Was there some kind of personal experience that drew you to this kind of work?
I cared for my father. I was in my late 30s, and he had a cancer diagnosis, and he passed away within 54 days of his diagnosis. And I was able to be there every step of the way, including the gift of being there for his last breath. My mom had a pretty serious condition. She had end stage renal failure, and so her needs and care became more demanding. And then at that time, we were raising teenagers. We also were caring for my in-laws, and so we had several years of intense caretaking, and that and then they all passed away in a very short amount of time. And they taught me so much about what a beautiful end of life experience could look like. But they also taught me so much about how to live life fully until we take our last breath. During that time, taking care of all of our family members and working and taking care of everyone else, I forgot to take care of myself. And so I got really sick on afterwards, and I had to take a forced pause from work. And I really, after all of that amount of loss in my life, I really began to question my own mortality and how I personally wanted to spend the rest of my life. And so, in my own illness, I actually discovered Reiki. And that's really where my healing journey began about 5 years ago. And I also discovered end of life doula work. And I really felt a strong calling, especially seeing our loved ones pass away, and needing the support and not really having that extra support. I felt like when I was holding the hand of my mom when she was passing away, even having a medical background, I really felt like I wished I would have had someone holding my hand while I was holding my mom's hand. Helping to empower people in whatever stage in their life, it just brings me so much joy. And it really, I think for people doing this type of work, I really feel like when we work with people at end of life and when someone is dealing with a very significant health issue, it really helps us to live more fully and more present each day.
If you had one piece of advice that you would share with our viewers today, what would that be?
I am such a big advocate for people to prepare, have in writing, and tell your loved ones about advanced care planning. I think that that is such a gift to yourself and to your loved ones. Also, begin working on a project for legacy work. And I think that people think legacy work and you imagine a big statue in the middle of downtown Boise. It doesn't have to be that big or expensive. It actually can just be super simple and just recording your story. I remember when my dad was a talker, and sometimes he would just say the same thing over and over again. Um, but I really miss those stories and I really miss hearing his voice. So, as silly as it seems, I really would empower and encourage people to really think about writing your story, having it recorded, or leaving this special gift for your loved ones.
Thank you so much for joining me today and for joining Learn in our mission to help people navigate the joys and challenges of aging and caregiving.